I feel like I'm on the ball today. I even felt exempted from the law today. It's like this revelation dawned on me. It's so amazing, helps support the cause. I get everyone involved. I feel like I'm on the ball today. I even felt exempted from the law today. It's like this revelation dawned on me. It's so amazing, helps support the cause. I get everyone involved.
I get everyone involved. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to my son, Jake Nudelberg.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dad. Good morning, Shay. Good morning, Becky, Christian, Scott, Patrice, Josh. You know, the normal group is rolling in. The sun did rise today in Miami. It is rough to be a Miami Dolphin fan. It's rough. And if you watched it last night, I apologize.
I made a choice not to go, which was a wise one. Wanted to have a solid, good week of sleep. So I chose not to go. And it was easy to turn the TV off last night.
Yeah, look, when it goes wrong, things spiral. You got to find a way to stop the bleeding, and they've yet to find that, to overcome adversity. But I was in attendance. I will continue to be in attendance. The team will be here next year and the year after that. I don't think they're leaving anytime soon. So I will continuously wait for the day that we are good. But just like the Jets, we suck again. And you know what?
This is great. Illegal shift, man. It was like, those two morons are just moving the whole time.
Yeah, it's not good. We are bad. The Florida State is also abysmal. I don't think Florida can lose on a bye week, but if they could, they probably would. But anyways, we're having a great week. It's good to be back in the seat with you, Pops.
I love doing the show with you. And while I don't want it to be a sports show, there's too much stuff going on. I'm a Met fan. For all of you Met, Jet, Ranger, whatever, the Mets pulled it out yesterday. Funny part of that is that Jake texted me the Mets, and I thought it was over. I said, because I gave up in the eighth inning when they scored 6 runs.
So I'm not a baseball guy. Most of you who know me would know that I'm not a baseball guy. I don't talk about it. So even in October, I do not get, up for baseball. I don't watch really until the World Series. But you are surrounded by a lot of New Yorkers down here, and it has been a decent year for New York, with the rain. Up for the Mets, and everybody was talking and tweeting that they blew it in true Mets fashion, and then of course they hit the walk-off or they hit the home run in the 8th inning and they won. And I don't know if the Braves went on to win the second game.
They did. So Arizona's out.
So Arizona got you know what? Who really cares about Arizona though? No offense,
So,
it's
so there's good, there's not so good, and then there's finality. Yesterday, 2 sport icons, both who I know or have known. So let's be careful with that. They're not friends, but I did business with them. I also know. So Pete Rose passed away at 83. Hard to talk about him without going with his nickname, Charlie Hustle. The guy was the epitome of working hard and doing all the right stuff, except he did some of the wrong stuff.
Well, I do think it's interesting that he did get to see a world where gambling is pretty normal. He did live long enough to find, where everybody is betting and everybody is the world surrounds around betting now. If you watch sports, you watch commercials, it's all about betting, the way that it's in your face, the different brands, the different states. So it is interesting that he lived that long, but I heard he was an interesting guy, I think.
So I not only, in the days of my sports company, he had a restaurant up in Boca, Glades and the Turnpike. I was fortunate to do a couple of promotions with him. I saw him often in Tampa. And he was a hard guy to like.
Yeah,
is what I would say. He's just very intense and very self-focused. Now you hear the baseball guys love him. He died and the whole red machine was around him yesterday, which is the right way to go. So now contrary or the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you got a guy from Africa who was an absolute stud off the court as well as he was on the court. And I did know Dikembe. That is yours truly.
My mother comes through this morning. My mother sends us a picture from that's got to be late 90s, right?
Oh my God, that was
right?
way back. Way
perm.
back.
My mom's rocking the perm. You're still wearing hats, you know.
It was that was a series that we created for Norwegian Cruise Lines, where they had these NBA retired players on there, and so I got to meet some amazing guys at the end of their career when they were done.
I do think it was a different time period. People or regular people were able to get closer to athletes. They were more open. The rise of social media and media as a whole, everybody's after them now, and everybody wants to know what they're doing, what their business is. So that environment has kind of changed. So it's cool you did live through a time period where you're able to get the authentic version of a lot of these athletes.
I mean, look, for my lifetime, I met two absolute incredible humans, Junior Seau, God rest his soul, and John Sally. And you know them both. Yeah. You knew Junior. They transcended sports and business with me, which doesn't always happen. Everybody goes, "Oh yeah, I know them," and whatever. No, those guys, those were friends. So great memories. But while there are people dying every day, and there's always memories and things to talk about, you got the 39th president of the United States celebrating 100 today.
Easy.
100.
He hit the triple digits.
Jimmy Carter is 100 years old.
Is he actually alive? I don't mean to actually say that.
He is alive.
He alive?
He lives in Plains, Georgia, the same place where he started his campaign, and just absolutely amazing. There are some other milestones on October 1st, some that I think are worth mentioning. Let me find the exact year. It was 1960 when Babe Ruth called the shot in the World Series.
Wow. And you were what, 2? You were 2 months old. I was say you were 2 months old, right?
1961, Roger Maris hit the home runs. So it was. How about this? 1971, Disney World was created, October 1st. So October 1st is just a crazy, crazy kind of day. It was also in 1975. It was the Thrilla in Manila. What, do you remember that fight? Do you know what that is? Shay, come on.
I wasn't a thought until 96. So
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest fights ever. So anyway, lots of fun.
I will say though, it is crazy. You talk about years, you have all those amazing things happening, and then you have 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds absolutely dominating college football now. Shout out Jeremiah Smith, if you know him. He's from South Florida. Ryan Williams, the youngest player. They're kids. So
I have a question. So from South Florida, everybody was talking, Hundley's from Hollandale and whatever. He played at Utah. Yep. If you're Tyler Hundley, how do you feel this morning?
Yeah, I think he's been around long enough. I think the game is hard. I think that instant success in the league isn't a thing. You don't just come in and you don't just practice for a week and expect to be really good in this league. It would be insulting to the guys on the other side. And so I think, like anything, success takes a lot of work, and it doesn't happen overnight. And even if it does, it's not normally sustained success. It's a flash in the pan. And so I think he's been around. I think he understands that this is an opportunity where he's still probably the best option in the room, and he's got another 2 weeks to lead the team. And you can hang your hat and you can say poor us and this is what it is, but they're getting paid a lot of money, and there's got to be an ego check somewhere along the line. Or you have a culture problem. There has to be a give on either side, and you get answers. You don't run from the eye in the sky or anything like that. So you find out about people when adversity hits.
Yeah, Goldie said that this morning. He goes, they definitely got punched in the mouth.
I think they're just shell shocked, and nothing's going right. And that falls on Mike. I mean, that's his problem.
Kind of feel like opening day when Tyreek gets arrested.
We suck
over that Indian burial site.
We still have wake up music. So
it's October 1st. It's the first day of fourth quarter. We're holding up 4 because we are still going to crush this quarter day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. Shay, wake us up.
Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up. Come on, come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe this and this what you have to say. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in there. No more about to thinking. Time for thinking ahead. Come on.
Just so that we all recognize it, David Phillips is a huddler from North Carolina. Thoughts and prayers to everybody in Western North Carolina. I know that it has been just a tragic time for those people and what they're dealing with. So I love that it is, you brought that to us. So thank you for doing that. Goldfarbs, I see Donna Goldfarb is here. I'm assuming that they are unretired now and they're back into
civilization, or they were world travelers for real.
Woo, those people have done a really nice job. So congratulations to them. As we do every day, we feed our mind. We take some thought and kind of put it on like armor. Shay, show me today's daily affirmation, and Jake, do us the honors.
Yeah, daily affirmation. Here we go. When you think good thoughts, you create good outcomes. When you focus on the good in your life, you create more good in your life. It starts with you and all the things you focus on.
Thank you.
There was an extra "the" in there. But no, I think it starts with you is the most important thing, right? I saw a clip and I'm going to pull it, but if you're a Canes fan, Mirabal is the O-line coach. And he said at halftime, he goes, "What are you going to do to help us?" He goes, "Don't worry about the offense. Don't worry about the defense. What are you going to do to help us?" And I think if every person in the organization or in your life had that mentality of what you are going to do to make today great, better, make your life better, that's sincere ownership. I think that's.
Yeah. To me, I love it because it has the word focus in there. And I'm proud of the fact that early in my career, I got introduced to Tony Robbins through my friend Dan Lear. He said early on, where you focus, energy flows, so, just you gotta really look at perspective. And, I think those guys in the locker room really have a gut check coming on, but it reminded me of a Rolling Stones song that I'll jump into, because if you don't feel this way, don't show up.
Childhood living is easy to do. The things that you wanted, I bought them for you. And graceless lady, how I am. I can't let you slide through my hands. Yeah, 'cause wild horses couldn't drag me away. Wild horses couldn't drag me away.
Wild horses couldn't drag me away, man. That's pretty committed.
Great clip.
Really committed. So let me bring people back to almost 8 years ago. And I realized that there was a shift. I was really focused on learning LinkedIn and understanding all that it had to do. I had been on Facebook and you guys were like freaking out, like, Dad, what are you doing on Facebook? You know, I was just trying to figure it out. And I decided that I was fed up with going to visit people for coffee. There were too many times I was late. People were late. They didn't show up. It was too expensive. I had to park. So I started using the term virtual coffee. And when I would introduce it to people, they would go, wow, man, that's really cool. Can I steal it? I don't own the word. It's a concept. I just want to do it virtually because the tools were there. You know, Zoom was just getting going. I mean, can you imagine there was Skype? Like, talk about a company that fell asleep at the wheel, man. Right. Anyway, Mark sent me this, or you sent me this clip that is so perfect about why it doesn't work. And then I want to break it down with you, Jake.
Alex?
Will?
We did it.
Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, I've been here for hours, but that's how it goes. How was parking?
Horrendous. Yeah, you picked a spot downtown, so I circled around looking for a spot for an hour and a half. Worried about my car getting towed right now. I saw you bought a muffin, so I panicked and overcompensated.
I've already had breakfast.
So was this supposed to be pleasant?
The thought of it, yes, but in actual practice, absolutely not.
What? Huh? Yeah.
I can't hear you.
How much small talk are we going to do here?
I'm thinking we'll do 99% small talk, and then you just tell me what you actually wanted to talk about right before we leave.
Let's dive in now.
I'd love to. I have to go feed the meter.
That's it. Well, we lost all momentum we had.
How about that weather?
Yeah, game.
Sports?
I'm going to casually steer the conversation towards rock climbing because I saw on your Instagram it's a hobby of yours.
I lost my cousin rock climbing. I'm gonna go feed the meter. This is so much better than a Zoom.
So much better. Which is crazy because you're the one that suggested this.
Well, it's more of a turn of phrase that got taken literally, and now we're both trapped in this nightmare.
This is what it's all about.
This is how industries are built.
Oh, yeah.
I have to go feed the meter.
Same.
Dude,
It's absolutely classic.
I think the modern way of like breaking up the conversation now is you pay the meter on like your phone. You're
Right.
like, oh, I gotta pay by phone. You text someone, you're like, this is awful. Hey, get the fuck out of here, you know, or something like that. It was actually really funny.
Well, so there's a couple of cool takeaways.
Yeah.
One, when he says, "Oh, I saw that you're into rock climbing."
My cousin died rock climbing. Yeah, I saw you had a muffin, so I overcompensated.
What the fuck? So it was new concept to you. I want your take on virtual coffee.
Yeah. I think it's an uncomfortable habit. I think we lose the ability to make friends. I think in whatever happens after college, like I do think we all struggle to make friends, especially when you're a guy. Like I think the guys more than anything, like you have your friend group and you're supposed to be friends with them forever. You don't really make new friends or move on. And it was funny. I saw a kid that I grew up with, and I saw him for the first time in probably a half a year or whatever. And he looked at me and he was like, can we skip the small talk? We know what's going on in each other's lives. And I was like,
Beautiful.
yes. I was like, all good, dude. Great to see you, right? You know, it was like fantastic. But I think we just have lost the ability to be ourselves and own what makes us, you know, individual. And so we like join these companies and we're so robotic, I think. And so when you get on a call with somebody who's has their guard down or consistently tries to take the guard down, some people are kind of off-put by it a little bit because it is a new activity. But I think it leads to a greater relationship and better business.
Yeah, I mean, the origin for me was looking for commitment or investment, but I don't need you to buy me. I need you to agree to spend 15 minutes with me. You know, if you're not willing to spend 15 minutes with me virtually anytime, I don't care. Here's my calendar. You want to do it in December? Fine. But if you're not willing to do that, what else is there?
Correct.
There's nothing else. So you get to a point where it's like, I'm going to be really upfront. I don't need to meet you in person. I think it's easier for you if you understand it. And a lot of people have adopted this strategy, but it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. And I think a lot of people get more uncomfortable in this environment. When you saw it in person, it was so uncomfortable.
And I think it's also, there's something about the roles. Like I think people in sales or responsible for sales are more open to taking calls, being on calls, where when you go after somebody who might be in operations or isn't directly involved with sales, they kind of get a little bit of apprehensive if it's about getting on a call and just trying to develop a relationship because they don't consider themselves relationship builders. And I'm obviously, it's not 100% for that. But I think that that's also a lost skill, is that no matter what role you're in or what you do for a living, having like new relationships is impactful for your life, and it's not just a sales activity. It's a life activity, really, And so I think people lose sight of that a little bit.
Dude, that's a nugget. It's a life activity. Like I say to somebody, like, what happens if you meet somebody and they are connected to a doctor network and somebody in your family needs that doctor and you're 1 degree away from getting in to see that doctor? Was that a good use of 15 minutes or, meeting somebody? I think the agenda, the old school agenda of I'm going to take your money,
I'm going to qualify you. I'm going to write the term. I'm going to qualify you. Right.
The word prospecting alone is so clinical and so, I'm going to prospect you.
Right. Yeah. It's
jelly fingers.
Why people have a bad connotation of sales. It's why people get this sleazy feeling from people, because it's not a generic thing, and really programming your mind not to go in with an ask or a sale, that's hard. It's hard for people, because I think at the end of the call, they're always like, so what do you want, or something like that. And I love that you used to teach this, and we still do, but, like the positive outcomes of a virtual coffee leads to another decision, or it leads to another conversation, one step closer. And then you always go, what if you made a friend? Would that be a good day? Would that be a good call? And everyone goes, yeah, I guess, and it's just a lost art that that human interaction is something that is wildly important for our survival. I think it's wildly tied to like health now. You go to the doctor, they ask you about isolation and how much human, contact you have and what your relationships are like. And so it is definitely a life activity.
So I'm going to shout out 2 people, Becky Castillo and Hector Arias, both friends and people that we're working with, who are just having virtual coffees every day. And so part of our methodology is if you can get to the point where you have 5 15-minute coffees, and you do that every day, Monday through Friday for a year, that's 1,200 virtual coffees. How many of those need to actually do something with you? You have the best year of your life. It's crazy.
And just like anything, they're uncomfortable at first. You get in the gym, you start a new activity, a new routine, they're uncomfortable, and it's okay to be uncomfortable. And I think it's even good to be upfront with the person, like, hey, I just got into this virtual coffee thing, and it breaks the ice with the other person. They're probably going to be like, yeah, I've never really done this either. And you kind of meet in the common ground a little bit of this new world and new generation and how we operate.
So I'm in front of the folks yesterday at Right Way. I go on and I show them my post on Sunday with me and Nick Saban. Thank you, Shay, for great graphic work. Got a tremendous activity. And there are a lot of people who reacted to it that are not connected to me. So I went back to one of them and I said, hey, thanks for liking my post. I really love talking SEC football, He's in employee benefits. I said, if you're interested, here's my calendar. Boom. Comes back this morning. He goes, I got turned on to the huddle through Chesley Gaddis. I've been watching. I love you guys. And I would love to have a virtual coffee with you.
Right.
I mean, how hard is that?
Right.
Now I think, and Mark will tell you this, man, every single person thinks I tried 5 of them and only one worked.
Right.
Nothing's
right.
Anyway, great conversation. Always great being with you. Happy first day of October. Happy first day of the quarter. We're holding 4s because we're going to own this thing. Any final words there, my son?
As always, great to be in the huddle seat with you. Great to host. I know we got a great week of shows ahead, and get after it this week.
Let's go.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business.